Mujevale, Mujevale, Mujevale. My name is Bani Kibuka, and this is the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. Welcome to today's episode. I was contemplating about recording an episode for this weekend because of what has been going on throughout this week. As many of you know, Uganda has had a presidential election on Thursday where we're trying to vote for a new president. That has had my mind, especially not being in the country at the moment. So it's been a lot of my mind thinking about my family, thinking about my people back in Uganda, and think about how the whole process of voting is gonna go and people's security. We've seen a lot of things going on, so I wasn't gonna record an episode for this weekend. I was actually planning on sending out a notice that we're gonna skip this weekend, but I was just sitting there and thinking, it was like, it's a chance I got to do. I usually bring a lot of guests on this show to talk about different things, and I actually had an episode that I was gonna release this weekend. We're gonna premiere a brand new song for one of my friends that we interviewed, and it's really a great interview, and I can't wait for you guys to listen to that and hear his brand new song. He's releasing a new album. I was gonna premiere that this weekend, but now that they've shut off all the social media and he won't be able to even see his own show, so I decided to extend that till next time, till Uganda gets back their internet. Now, to begin the show, I want to thank everybody who has subscribed to my channel. It's overwhelming because I remember one time I had 150 subscribers that I wanted to get to on that week, but I ended up getting 193 before even the week ended, and that was such a great news. So I want to thank everybody that has subscribed to my channel, on the YouTube channel, and people who are listening on the podcast and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere that you get to listen to this. I want to thank you. That I think today I'm at 218 subscribers. So I want to thank all of you for supporting and people who share my work so that the world can hear that. I want to thank you, and I want to thank you for promoting my previous episode, the latest episode I have. No, the last episode I have on there. It has done really well. It has the most views that I've had ever since I started. So I want to thank all the people that promoted that, shared that, and I promise you that we're going to be doing many things and improving, and just keep on supporting and keep on encouraging. I'll be doing more interviews. Like I said, I have a lot of people lined up that I'm going to be bringing for you this year. Great stories and great learning, and people with different experience that are going to be talking to us. So I want to thank you for that. My last episode was mostly about voting, and I'm going to be talking about that today, voting, because the last episode we did was preparing people to get ready for voting. So now what's going on? As of many of you have had, they've cancelled or closed social media platforms in Uganda. So actually you can't message people on Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram. That has been blocked in Uganda. So actually it made some, because I usually communicate with my family through social media, and that's how I get to know how they're doing, FaceTime. But I can't do that now because the internet is shut down. And that has been one of the things that have hit me this week, and just feeling down that you can't even connect with the people or with your family. And there are many people that use the internet back in Uganda, but the government decided to shut that off. And these are some of the things that I talked about in my previous episode, that you can't even live in your country. Like, that's not freedom. If somebody says they brought freedom to the country, like, people need to enjoy or live through the freedom. But now it looks like they are closed up and they can't use the internet because somebody is scared they're going to use the internet for, like, that doesn't make sense. But also, I want to thank the people on Facebook that the day of election, I shared a post on my Facebook page, and it was about awareness of what is going to happen on the election day. And a lot of people shared that, and with the hashtag, we are removing the dictator, because we want to create awareness to the whole world that we are trying to remove the dictator. So many people have shared that, and a brief message on that I got from another page, because now that the internet is shut down in Uganda, many voices that have been helping us to get the information, especially people who are not in Uganda at the moment, like some of those voices have been shut because the internet is down. So now, as the people who have the opportunity of the internet, we are the ones that need to rise up in this moment to be the voice for the voiceless, like to talk about the injustice and the things that are going on. And every time I get on a phone call to talk to my brother, he tells me what's going on, and make sure just let the world know what is going on in the country. And right now, the only thing I can do is just call on the phone call, but we've also got information that these phone calls have been blocked, and some of them you can't call and you can't receive calls, especially Bobby Wine, his wife, and all those people can't access their phone calls. And that's the highest degree of somebody who is scared for just an election. And if it's a free and fair election, I don't think people need to be scared that much. And I think we're on the right track, and good things are yet to come. Now, this week too, we got news that Bobby Wine was abducted or kidnapped by the police, but we were not sure about the sources, so that was not confirmed. But we'll continue to see to get information on what is going on. Now, from my family, I had they're safe, and most of them were telling us the election went on. People were calm. Nobody was rioting, so that's a good thing. But before election, I was watching videos, and they brought like troops of military, all kinds of military, in the country, and I think that was just to threaten people not to vote. But I had good news that people went and voted in large numbers, and more news, or we'll get the information on who wins the election soon. And we're hopeful that nothing sketchy happens, and we want a free and fair election, and all the results to come out as they were from the polling station. Now, in this video too, I want to send a message to my brothers and sisters who are Ugandans and they're not in Uganda at this moment. This is a chance you got not to be silent, because many of your brothers and sisters are locked up in the country where they can't speak about things, the injustice that's going on. And some of those people, you can talk to them on the phone. So you have this platform where you still can speak about something on your social media and share. My uncle told me a problem shared is halfway solved. So if you see a problem in your country and you share with somebody, that somebody might help you to solve the problem. So when you speak about these things, they're halfway solved. I mean, it doesn't guarantee that it's gonna solve everything, but at least somebody else knows about it. And this is why we come out to speak about these things. And I thought of sharing these in this podcast to just share my thoughts. When I was 9 years old, when I started connecting about this voting, because the voting I remember was 2001. I was 9 years old. I didn't vote because that's not an age of voting. But I would see my parents talk about elections, people go vote, and I didn't really make good connections with politics at the time. Now the next voting in the next 5 years, I was 14 years old, and I remember that very well because I remember in my room I had pictures of Dr. Kizza Besigye, who was at that time running with President Museveni. So I had pictures of him on my wall. I know I couldn't vote, but that's the time when I knew that we actually need, me myself, I knew I wanted to see a new president, because from the stories my dad was telling me that we've only had one president. So I couldn't vote, but I was just in my room just knowing that I want a new president, because at that time I knew things were not good and I just wanted to see change. And I was so happy. Like the next 5 years, I was 19 years old. And that was the first time I went to cast my vote. I voted for Dr. Kizza Besigye that time because I knew I had the power to vote. But like we've been telling you, like you go and vote, cast your vote, but these things don't turn out to be fair for everybody. Unfortunately, Dr. Besigye didn't win, and like I told you in my previous episodes, that at one point I wanted to study aviation and I wanted to get a place where they have a good education system, and I left Uganda. So I didn't participate in the following election. And I'm sure, as everybody else has been saying, that election was won by Dr. Kizza Besigye. But like, whatever happens with our country, you never know what goes on. And now the next election, which is 2021, still unfortunate that I couldn't cast my vote. But this is the year that at least now I know where my country stands. I know where my heart stands. And this is the year that I've been more vocal than I've ever been in my life. Like Honorable Chagulanyi always tells us that use yourself as a voice, use your social media as a voice, and talk about injustice, because if you stay silent, you're not helping your people and you're not helping yourself. And that's the time that right now I want to use my voice. I want to use anything that I can to just do what I can other than remaining silent. That's the worst thing you can do, just to remain silent. And I'm not holding this against anybody. If you don't want to say, that's up to you. But me, I'm going to use my voice to just share about the things that are hurting the people. Because I'm concerned about the people back home that are not in a good health system, are not in a good education system, and people are suffering. Just because I was able to get a good education system, just because I was able to get something good, doesn't make me forget where I come from. Because there's a million bunnies back home that need these things. And where our countries are right now, it's just who benefits. Like the higher people in the government are the one who are benefiting from the current regime. And that's so sad, because all those people just care about themselves and their own families. So now, that's something that bothers me, and this week I've just been thinking about that in my head. And I remember watching the video of Bobby Wine and Bobby going to cast their vote, and tears were just coming out of my eyes. I don't know why I was crying. I called my dad and told him I was watching this video, and I just started crying. I just couldn't imagine the feeling of having a new president. And I feel like if God helps us and our country sees the change, like That's going to be the best gift of 2021, and just see what God is going to do in our country. So if you're out there and you have an opportunity to use your voice, please use it. And this is not the end, and that's why I created this platform. I created it to bring awareness, to share stories about myself, but also about things that can benefit from people. And that's why this week I just wanted to just sit back and not release like another story, but just talk about all the things that are going on this week. One of my friends from Kenya sent me a text. I was like, hey, how is the situation? What's going on? The internet is shut down. But so far, I've been hearing good news. It's coming from Uganda, but we all know the system we're dealing with, system full of corruption. And I've been telling most of the people that we just need a miracle. We need a miracle to happen so we can see change in our country. We're hopeful and waiting to see what is going to happen by the end of this week and the news that's going to come out. Hopefully, my people back home are going to get the internet and are able to come and connect back in this episode and listen to this episode. But yeah, other than that, I didn't want to release the premiere of the new song because I want to wait for all the people in Uganda to enjoy the new song that is coming out. But yeah, this year I got a lot of things in line for this podcast. More stories coming up, hosting people with different experiences and growing, developing new things. And I'm gonna host another person who is gonna talk about injustice and talk about ministry opportunities, all different kind of things. And I just appreciate your support and your love. Continue supporting me, and that's all I can ask for. Keep sharing my work and we'll go from there. So thank you very much, but keep praying for the people in Uganda. I keep praying for the people in the United States and everybody. So yeah, thank you very much and be blessed. Hey there, I am Bonnie Kibuka, the host of the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. Thanks for watching my video, and don't forget to hit subscribe and share with a friend. Tune in every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time for a new episode about my podcast. And for more information about this podcast, follow me on my Instagram page, talk_show_256.